Crochet friends, it's finally time. For the last few months, I've been hinting at a vintage crochet haul, so today is the day. Now, if you're new here, I'm Karen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into this huge bag that I was given a few months back by my mother, and it's all crochet that she did, as well as crochet that my grandmother did, so my father's mother. That's the person I grew up watching crochet. Now, my mother did dabble in crochet, and in fact, there's quite a bit that she did, but I just don't have any memory of watching her crochet. So this was perhaps something before my time that she created. So we're gonna dive into that, and today is the day. So I hope you find this just as interesting as I do. I haven't delved into the whole bag just yet. I've kind of picked a few things along the top, but that's when I thought maybe you guys would be interested in seeing some of the items that I've inherited. So there's an interesting mix, and I noticed the difference between my mother's crochet and my grandmother's crochet. And this is my grandmother on my dad's side, so this is my father's mother. So it's not even like the two influenced each other, so I find that kind of interesting as well. So hopefully this haul perhaps will give you some inspiration on some motifs that you can create, and also maybe some projects you can create from these designs. And my goal is to purge, so I cannot keep all of it as much as I want to. I'm the biggest sentimentalist you will meet, and I really love diving into things like family history, but I just physically cannot keep everything. So I hope that you will help me kind of pick what to keep and what to give away. Definitely leave comments down below of what you would keep and what you would give away, and let's just dive in. Okay. Whew. Hold on one second. Oh yeah. Incoming hot flashes. Okay, let's get started here. So I got this bag a few months back, and she has labeled it Naprunhas Rendas, and in Portuguese that just means doilies crochet. So here we go. At the very top, wow, there is so much here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the first thing I'm pulling up, and actually I have, like I said, I've already kind of taken a little bit of a peek, and so this is four motifs that are crocheted together, and I'll also put up clips of these in a deeper close-up. So what I have kind of discovered is most of the stuff that is my mother's crochet, she liked to do motifs and then crochet them together, which is funny. I do like to crochet motifs as well. So her stuff was more motifs. My grandmother tended to do more filet crochet. And so those of you that are familiar with filet, it's when you crochet in blocks to create a design or a pattern, and it's mostly just double crochets and chain one or chain two spaces, and they can be quite intricate and very elaborate. So that was one of the first things that I noticed about these two people who have crocheted. So this is, and it's funny because this is a champagne color. I don't see this very often. I know my best friend whose parents are also from a Portuguese background, her grandmother crocheted a lot in this champagne color. My family did not, so that's why I find this interesting that this is a champagne. So this is basically like, it's not exactly a granny square, it's a circular lacy granny motif, and it's done in a set of 4 and attached, so it creates this really pretty little doily here. Now I thought about kind of taking some of these, so there's a few of these. This one, yes, very similar. So there's a lot of them. Like I remember growing up and having doilies under every single like vase and lamp and things like that. So these definitely were in use in the good living room. So those of you that know what I mean about the good living room, you know what I'm talking about. So I thought maybe this might be something interesting to maybe sew together to make a garment, even something really lacy for the summertime. So thinking about that. So what I'm going to do is this is going to go into the maybe pile. I only have 3 Whoops, actually I have 4, but they're all very small. So, I'm going to put that in the I'm not quite sure yet pile. Okay, next up, oh, actually, I really love these. This is another motif project, but was this my mother or was this my grandmother? Because I don't know, this seems a bit, it could be. So this actually reminds me of a snowflake. So it's got this really pretty snowflake-like effect, and it's basically done in like a hexagon or an octagon shape, and just like the other one, they are attached together. I really like this. I definitely am going to keep this because when Christmas comes, I'm definitely going to be using this in some fashion. I may not necessarily use it around the house, but I may use it for something I'm going to craft with. Speaking of crafts, my website is called Crochet Crafty. So many of you who've been here a while, you know that on the Crochet Crafty website, there's a lot of great tools and resources for you. Now, why I called my website Crochet Crafty, because I'm pretty crafty with crochet. So it's not just about crocheting items for articles of clothing or blankets. Like, I like to try and crochet and add a little twist to it. So sometimes you will see me use crochet or crochet items in a slightly different way. So this is definitely going to be in the keep pile. So I've got a lot of these. Oh yeah, there's tons here. So, oh, I see. Okay, so this is like a centerpiece, a little bit more like a little mini runner. So this motif has quite a bit to, oh my goodness, yes, there's a lot here. Yeah, very, very pretty. Okay, now this one I definitely remember growing up with. We had these on our side tables in our living room. And again, we're talking the 70s, you know, the living room that had the wood paneling. Yes, that's how old I am. So this I definitely remember. So these are much tinier motifs, and they use these little rings in the center. So a lot of these, so there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So there's 30 of these little mini motifs. It's kind of like little mini granny motifs, and they're all attached together. So it creates a very lacy look. This is kind of cool because oh yeah, I do. So there's a runner here. Look at that. See, this I would probably use and put together to crochet a garment. Like, I'm thinking like a boho vest or kind of an overlay to like a camisole or something. If I have oh, there is another one here. See, the problem is you don't always have a lot of the same motif. So this is a definitely maybe keep if I have enough of the same motifs. Okay, so this one goes in that pile too. So far, I'm not getting rid of anything, so this is not looking good for me to downsize. Okay, so next up, oh yes, this one I have seen already. I am definitely keeping this. Look at how gorgeous this is. I can only imagine, I don't even know what the crochet thread weight would be that was used to create this, but the center of this motif is done using puff stitches. Now imagine, you know, a puff stitch, but done with extremely like, this is less than a 0 weight thread. So it creates this really beautiful texture, and look at how beautiful and lacy that is. This definitely I'm going to keep because I'm going to do something with it to put it on display. I think it's such a work of art. I can only imagine, first of all, the eyesight that you need to create these types of doilies. They're so fine. It's like you almost can't believe that human hands made this because it's just so fine. So not only do you need great eyesight, you need extremely amazing patience and perseverance. So this is definitely a keep. And so that was a centerpiece, it looks like, and then it came with 2 smaller doilies here. Now this is very reminiscent of the doilies that my uncle brought last fall. he's always finding things. He still owns my grandmother's home in the Azores, and he found 2 doilies that are about this size, and he said your grandmother made these for her wedding. So my grandmother, I believe, was married in 1945. So she must have been working on it like in her youth, because that's what you did. You worked towards creating a, I don't know if you call it a trousseau. It was kind of like a hope chest for when you got married. That's what they did back then. So we're talking, and I'll put a clip of it up on the screen too. So those doilies are definitely from the early 40s. So we're talking, 80 some odd years. So that to me is super, super exciting. So I don't know. You see, the problem is my mom doesn't remember when she's made a lot of these things, but most of them for sure was before she had children. So I'm assuming this is probably sometime in the 60s because she was getting ready to get married herself. So yeah, so definitely over 50 years old. So I'm definitely keeping that. Now, okay, so there's some of these which I'm not really a super fan of. I remember her having these we had a good kitchen. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but those of you that with a Portuguese or Italian background, you know what I'm talking about. So we always had the good living room where you would receive guests in, and some of you may remember having the plastic still on the couch. And then we also had the good kitchen and then the everyday kitchen. I know it's madness. Absolutely nobody does that, but except we did. And so this was on display on the wall. So I guess it was kind of meant to look like, I'm thinking like a hot pad or something. It is made with crochet thread. Again, all the patience in the world. Oh boy. So it is a granny square. It's a solid granny square, if you'll notice. And so you can see the laciness in the corners. And it was done using that ring. So the ring, they were like little wooden or little plastic rings that you would crochet around. It was very popular back then. And then they had a little hanging hook. Now, this is definitely not, especially considering it's like orange, it's not really my thing. But this is a maybe because I feel like I could do something with this like come the fall or like Halloween. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. The maybe, I don't know. Again, I know I haven't gotten rid of anything yet, but here's hoping. Okay, next on the list here. This is another motif one. Again, most likely my mother created this. It's very open. I think maybe she was trying a design. I'm not really a fan of this. It just, as a runner, I just don't see it. I just really don't see it. I'm even as a garment, because it is nice and lacy. I don't know. I am not going to keep that. Yay, I made a decision. Okay, so... Okay, here's another circular one. Oh, this one belongs to this pile. And then here's another one with a lot of rings, but it's a circular motif. I really don't have a lot of use for this. So give away, give away. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, so this is a larger version of this. I do like this in the larger version. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the giveaway pile. Oh, okay, more of that champagne-y color. Okay, so that's the maybe. More of the same. So if I have enough of the same motif, I could make something out of it other than, okay, this one, I have to say, I'm definitely keeping it. So it is a granny square, and then it's got these beautiful fanned out corners, and it's using this variegated green and red crochet thread in the center, and then it's outlined in red. Now, it is very dated, I know, but many of you know I love me a good Victorian Christmas theme, so I'm definitely going to be using this for the holidays. So this is a keep, 100%. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, so that's probably a centerpiece. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yay. There's more of these. Okay. So a lot of times they made doilies for side tables, coffee tables, and runners on dining tables. So when you were doing stuff like this, you weren't making just one. You were making a bunch. So I've got, so this looks like probably 2 side tables. Oh, okay, these are all the same size, and 3 more. So I've got 5 of these pieces. So that's good. So that's definitely a keep for Christmas. Oh God, more of this orange stuff. But again, wow, okay, this one. So this is probably a side table, a slightly larger side table. Wow, she was probably trying to go through all this thread. Okay, this one is, oh, there's 2 of these of the same size. Let's see. No. So this one, I think, is like for a coffee table. And this one is probably a dining table runner. So it's nice and big. Now, I'm not a fan of the colorway, but this is a maybe because, again, come the fall, because I like to decorate for the seasons, I might use this for something. So this is going to go in the maybe pile. I know, I'm not getting rid of too many things. Okay, so, oh my goodness, this bag just keeps on going here. Okay, so far it's been all of my mother's. Okay, now, oh, wow. I think I have a vague memory of this being on our dining room table. Now, this is a motif, believe it or not. It is basically, yeah, it's a granny square, believe it or not. So the center of the square are these little rings, and then the 2 sides kind of has these lacy shells to it. And then the top and the bottom side of the square is basically just a mesh stitch, which is also the main characteristic of your typical filet crochet. And then just what happened is, whoops, so let me just use this as an example. So she just rounded off the sides here to create a little bit of a fan effect. And the one at the top, instead of doing the filet on the top, she just did it on the bottom and then fanned the top. Now, this is all one runner, and you might be thinking, well, how can you tell it's a motif? I can tell it's a motif because I actually can see where the joins happened. So this was pretty reminiscent of my grandmother would do a lot of runners, but I feel like, and this is not a downplay of my mother's work. You know, it's so funny because my mom said, you know, my stuff wasn't really that great. I was never really good at crochet. Her stuff is unbelievably artistic. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. The only thing is on the join, I feel like my grandmother's joins were just like a little bit more seamless. Now, at the end of the day, could I do this? Hell to the no. So I still think she is incredibly talented, and she doesn't give herself enough credit. But I think this is, wow, look at how long it is. This is definitely, I think, my mother's work. This is a maybe. Because again, I have a nice long console table, and for Christmas, this might be pretty to put on there for a Victorian theme. So it's not really a maybe, but it's not really a keep. I'm just going to put in that pile anyway. Oh, wow, there's a few more of these. Oh, fantastic. So, oh, I see. Okay. This one with the puff stitches, this is a larger one. Look at that. This would look really beautiful. Oh, on a pillow, actually. I could sew this onto a pillow. Keep for sure. Keep for sure. This is also part of that same theme. This is more of those little mini granny squares. I'm just putting this in this pile because if I have enough of these, I could make like a little lacy summer vest, but it's dependent on if I have enough or not. This is another one of those regular round. I'm just going to give that away because that one doesn't really appeal to me. What about this one? Did I keep this? No, this is another one of those really, really lacy ones. This is a giveaway. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting there. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's more of these with the puff stitches. I don't know what it is about this design. It creates this gorgeous flower-like effect. I think the texture is just incredible. Handmade, like handmade. We just take for granted everything is done by machine nowadays. You know what I mean? You definitely couldn't be ordering this on Amazon, if you know what I mean. Okay, so keep. More of this spidery, lacy giveaway. Wow, a lot of these little puff stitch motifs. Okay, now this one looks like it's just machine pressed. You know, sometimes you can get those doilies. It's like linen, but I mean, it is pretty fine. I'm not a fan of these. This just looks like lacy linen, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's this champagne color that I really am not a fan of. So right away, giveaway. Woo! I feel good about that. Okay. Oh, these were pretty too. This is definitely my mom's doing. So what is this? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is an octagon kind of motif. Yeah, it needs to be pressed. So it just kind of has this little star-like effect. I might be able to do something with this for Christmas. That is maybe keep. So yeah, there's a few of these here. Slightly smaller. Yeah, I think I could do some decor with that for Christmas. So a lot of Christmassy ideas. Oh, more of the, yay, I love these. I don't know what it is about this red. This is not something I would definitely have every day as part of my decor, but I would definitely use this in a Victorian themed Christmas decor. Okay, more of these circular, wow. I don't recall, I mean, so many of these circular motifs. This is a nice big one. Oh, more of these. Good. Small. Wow, that's huge. See, this is like, it's not really a mandala, but it kind of reminds me of a mandala-like effect as it goes out with the design. See, I'm kind of liking the fact that there's two really big ones. I think I'm going to keep these two big ones. I just feel like I could do something artistic with them. But now it's making me think, should I keep the other ones to create? Oh, this is terrible. I think I might. Because now all of a sudden I'm getting inspired to do a piece of art, like a large piece of art that incorporates all of these. Oh, this is really bad, guys. I'm not really getting rid of much. Oy. Okay, let me just put this in its own pile so that I can keep them together. See, there's another one here. Oh, okay. So much for purging, guys. Okay, more of these. See, this one really, really does not appeal to me. The orange. I might just kind of go back and then just keep like 1 or 2 of these pieces for fall. So I'll have a think about that. Okay, so far pretty much everything has been my mother's crochet, and now I think we're starting to come across some of my grandmother's work. Oh yeah, look at, oh my goodness, look at how long this is. So I'm just gonna hold it up, but again, I'll put a close-up on the screen. So I can't quite tell what this design is. Sometimes these are letters and they spell something, but I don't think that they are. It could be, it looks just like scrolling leaves. That is incredible. Can you believe that? The time, and look at how long this is. It's super long. And like, again, the crochet thread must be a super, 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 like almost non-existent. So, I mean, the artistry here is just incredible. I just don't know what I would do with it. Yeah. This is going to be a let me think about it. Let me think about it. Here's another one. So it's kind of, oh yeah, look, this is now where you, my battery died, so I had to change cameras. So I don't know how much battery I have left on this one. So I better move things along. So if you notice a difference in the quality, it's because I am using a different camera. So this is what I was holding up earlier, and you can see how it's like a rose motif and then the vine, and then it kind of is joined in the center. Very, very beautiful. So I don't know, this one's a maybe. I have kind of gotten rid of some stuff. And this is the funny thing. It's like, you know, when you're actually getting rid of something, you're like, oh, you know, I really can't part with it. But the thing is, once it's gone, and you don't even think about it anymore. And so I think that's what I have to keep reminding myself of is, you know, once you let it go, it's not going to make or break your life, basically. But I do think it's important to keep a few solid pieces, and looking around me, I'm keeping more than I really should be. But yeah, so anyway, okay, so this is definitely another, oh, look at that. Wow, look at that. So it's a flower motif. It kind of looks in a way a little bit like a poinsettia even. It's got a scroll-like effect. Like, it's incredible. Now, I do remember her looking at designs, which was probably like a pattern, like a filo crochet pattern that she was following, and just incredible. But again, I have no use for this. So I'm going to give that away. And this one is the same thing. Well, the same idea. So a lot of floral motifs. Yeah. So, and the thing is, these are complicated, but really it's just double crochets and chain stitches. So if you're a super beginner, you could do this. It's just that you have to understand how the pattern works and how to read those filet crochet grids. So, oh my goodness. Oh, here's more of this snowflake one. We're down to the last one. Now again, oh, this is pretty actually. Look at that. So it is filet crochet. So it started this way. And it looks like little kind of eyelet flowers, or it kind of looks a little bit like that dragonfly stitch, but it's not quite a dragonfly. And then it's got a little bit of a diamond spider motif in the center. That's actually really, really cool. There's only one of these, and it is a little bit more in that champagne-y color that I'm not a fan of. But, this might be an interesting something to do, like a piece of art. This is going to be a maybe. Okay, so I've gotten down to the bottom of the bag. So I'm looking around me, and I definitely have a lot more keep than give away. But I did give away a bunch of stuff. There's a huge maybe pile, so I'll work on that. But let me see how many pieces I have of this one. This is the one that I think could make a funky vest. So there's 2 small, 2 medium. Ooh, there's, oh, this is not quite the same size. That's weird. So let me see here. So these, okay, so it's like a medium. Is this similar? No, that is so weird. So these three are the same length. This one has, I think, 1 row extra or 2 rows extra. So there's 4 of these kind of angular pieces, and then there's 2 of these. So I have 6 pieces in total. I could make something like a funky vest out of this. What do you think? Should I make a vest? I could do maybe a tank top. I'm not quite sure. Drop me in the comments. What do you think I should make with this? This would be a really cool, like a very boho type of idea. So yeah, I'm kind of like debating. If I can't make it work, then this definitely will be a giveaway. Oh, some of these puff stitch ones. Now, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know if this was actually done in a creamy yarn or it's been discolored. I think my mother was saying something about some of them have become discolored with time. So, if any of you in the comments know how to whiten and brighten vintage crochet threaded items, let me know, because I definitely do not want to risk ruining this. So the other thing, a little hot tip that you guys should know that my mother told me is, like, these are kind of crumpled and things like that. They definitely need a steam. So you want to steam press it, but you don't really want to press it. And then block it with your hand. What my mother used to do, and I do have a memory of this, is she would put a tea towel over it and then just iron over the tea towel. But again, you want to be careful that the heat is not too high. So even though this is cotton thread, it's mercerized thread, you want to be careful because it is very delicate. So that's a hot tip from me, to make sure that you place a tea towel on top of the vintage item and then iron it. So, but for anybody who knows how to whiten these again, please do let me know. All right, so that's it for my vintage crochet haul. I would say the oldest thing here, a lot of these filet crochet, I remember my grandmother working on in the 80s. So we're talking like 40 years. I think once you hit 40 years, that's definitely vintage. The oldest one I have is the one from the early 40s. So that's hitting about 84 years old. So that's getting close to being antique. So that's the oldest one I've had to show you. And most of these motifs, I think, were done in the 70s and the 80s. So I hope you found that kind of interesting. And hopefully you got some inspiration on maybe some motifs and designs you're going to make. I actually already have a couple of inspos that have given me some ideas for crochet tutorials. So stay tuned for those. So that's it for today. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. I thought this would be a fun thing for us to do, is kind of go through some interesting designs from an era gone by. So I hope you guys are having a great day. As always, I wish you happy crocheting. And if you're new here and this is your first time joining me, I hope you'll come and hang out with me every Wednesday morning when I upload a brand new video. So just make sure to click that subscribe button and you are good to go. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Take good care of yourselves as always, and I will see you guys in next week's session. Bye-bye.